Chapter 10 Trials and Sufferings. Shortly after, on 30th August 1886, accompanied by a party of devotees, the mother started on a pilgrimage to North India to assuage her grief. On the way, she stopped at Deoghar, Varanasi, Ayodhya, and went as far as Vrindavan, where she stayed for about a year. While she was witnessing the evening service at the temple of Vishwanath at Varanasi, she fell into an ecstatic mood, and that mood persisted even while she was returning to her place of lodging. At Varanasi, she met the great saint Swami Bhaskarananda and was much impressed by him. At Vrindavan, she practiced hard tapasya, great austerities, and her feelings were greatly stirred by the sight of the places associated with Sri Krishna, Radha, and his other companions. Was not her case exactly like that of Radha when she was separated from her Lord? When she met Yogin Ma at Vrindavan, where she had gone earlier, she began to weep like a helpless child. That mood lasted for a few days till she was pacified by having a vision of the Master. At Vrindavan, she would be so much absorbed in japa and meditation that she was not conscious at the time that flies were making sores on her face. Sometimes, in an exalted mood, she would go alone to the sandy banks of the Yamuna, from where her companions had to bring her back. It is said that at Kalababu's house she was so absorbed in samadhi that she could not be brought down to the earthly plane only with considerable effort, by repeatedly uttering the name of the Lord in her ears. These high spiritual moods would alternate with simple and unsophisticated behavior, just like that of an innocent child. She visited almost all the important temples in that holy city, some of them several times. She once circumambulated the sacred area associated with Sri Krishna's life on foot, just like the Orthodox Vaishnavas, although she was suffering from rheumatism. Her companions noticed that at many places sanctified by the memory of Sri Krishna, she would experience an exalted mood. While staying at Vrindavan, she once saw a vision in which the Master was asking her to give initiation to Swami Yogananda, who was then staying with her as her attendant. At first, she paid no attention to the vision, but the experience recurred on 3 consecutive days. Out of humility, she hesitated to give initiation to anyone. But when she learned that the Master had not given Yogananda any formal initiation, and that he too had a similar vision to hers, she agreed and initiated him. Perhaps this was the first initiation she gave to anybody, for it is not definitely known whether she initiated another monk of the order, Swami Traiguta Nityananda, whom the Master sent to her for that purpose at Dakshineswar. At the temple of Radharani in Vrindavan, she fervently prayed that her eyes might not see faults in others. That her prayer was answered was borne out in her life. Just as a mother cannot see any fault in her child, she was incapable of seeing any blemish in anyone. Afterwards, she would advise everyone to try not to see defects in others, for, as she would say, one's own eyes become impure, and one absorbs the defects of others. After 1 year's stay at Vrindavan, she went to Hardwar and returned to Calcutta after visiting Jaipur, Ajmer, and Allahabad. After a temporary halt in Calcutta for 2 days, she started for Kamarkapur, accompanied by Swami Yogananda and Golapa Ma, both of whom came back to Calcutta after a few days. Now began a period of great trial and hardship for her. At this time, she had no financial resources and almost nobody to care for her. She felt a void in her heart at the physical absence of the master, and she was lonely. She was faced with so much poverty that at times she had to eat rice without even salt. The disciples of the master had been seized with spiritual longing and impelled by that spirit wandered from place to place. So they did not know the sufferings of the Holy Mother, nor did it strike any of them that there was a possibility that she might be in such great difficulty. The Holy Mother also would not speak of her personal hardships to anybody. Faith in God was her only refuge and support. Once, at repeated invitations of her mother, she went to Jairambati. Shyam Sundara Devi at once found out the abject poverty through which she was passing, but could not extract from her the actual condition. She tried her best to keep her daughter at Jairambati, but the Holy Mother would not agree to stay. She returned to her husband's birthplace just to wait and see how circumstances would shape themselves for her. Despite all her attempts to hide the real situation, the news leaked out to the outside world that she was passing through a period of great privation. When the devotees in Calcutta heard about it, they became alarmed and grave. After consulting among themselves, they wrote to the Holy Mother earnestly requesting her to come to Calcutta. But there was this difficulty. Whatever might be her spiritual relation with the disciples of the Master, what would the villagers think if she went to Calcutta to stay among strangers, as they would say? At last, at the persuasion of an elderly woman of Kamarkapur, who commanded great reverence from all, and also with the support of her mother, she went to Calcutta. Great relief and joy was felt by the devotees, especially the women disciples. Henceforth, she lived sometimes in Calcutta and sometimes in Jairambati, according to convenience and circumstances, except in the periods when she was on pilgrimage.